What's up, guys? HTG Brian here, back with some more LEGO 2K Drive. In this video, we're going to cover all weed locations for Prospecto Valley, and it also just so happens to cover all of the collectibles left in Prospecto Valley, ringing off a trophy achievement called Township Treasure. So if you've been following along and you're playing on the old PlayStation or Xbox, you should be getting this Township Treasure as well. Now here we are, we got a quick reminder, we have quick links down below in the video description, but before we get really rolling out, it's important that you need to change your off-road vehicle over to the Weed Chopper 5000. That's right, get to the chopper. And if you're unfamiliar with how to get that, we do have a video a little earlier in our playlist that shows you when and where to get that, how much it costs, and all that stuff. Now, unlike all the rest of the collectibles, well, most of them in Prospecto Valley, these are going to be scattered all over instead of in just one concentrated area. But we're going to kind of do the same thing as always, where we pick a spot in the upper left-hand corner and work our way around the map in a clockwise motion. So the first one's going to be in the top left or northwest corner, and there you go. It's a little clover leaf up there. And in one of the leaves itself, the upper right one, there's going to be a patch of weed. So pull out the chopper by simply driving into the off-road area. It should automatically equip that for you, unless you've gone into the options and changed that. There is a preference you can change to not switch. Now, I'm not exactly sure why one would not want the cars to auto-switch, but perhaps maybe you really only like one car? I'm not sure, but some of these are a little bit lengthy, and I do apologize. To be honest with you, I kind of considered doing some, like, dissolve fades where I'm sort of like going from the beginning of the weed patch to the end, but I also know that there are some particular weed spots that might get overlooked. So there's a couple of spots during this video where I actually get the entire weed patch cut down, but then I find out there was actually one last weed hiding amongst us. So I'll just go ahead and keep them all there, but one of 20. So we're good there. Now we're going to go ahead and head east. In fact, there is a little off-road there. We're going to tag that, but to get there, we're going to hop over into the water and make our way down and around, and then hang a hard left. And right here on the land should be the spot we are looking for. Weed number 2. All right, I can't stress this enough. There are some big patches laying around these areas. Some of them are rather short, too. In fact, we've got a cluster in one particular spot that has 4 of them in like a 4-way intersection, and they're quite small. However, there are some cheeky spots there, too, like around the backside of a building where there's only like 2 or 3 weeds, but the rest of them are out front. So, again, it has to do with, I left these because of the fact that I wanted to make sure that I showed you all of them, just in case maybe you didn't hit like a corner or something of that nature. Now, you can see I'm missing a couple of weeds. I'm trying to be very methodical with my takedown here, but it doesn't always work out how I want. Now, we've basically been plowing through all of these collectibles, and to be honest with you, we're almost in the home stretch. Now, we do have one more 50-piece collectible type, and that happens to be, I believe they're bats of sorts that fly around, and sort of like the golden nugget or the rainbows, but in the Hauntsboro. So we'll have to check that out shortly. In fact, that'll be one of the last things we do. We'll probably do the same order where we choose the legend order on the map there, where it shows all the different types. We'll probably just go right down the list like we did here. All right, so next up, just a little further east. In fact, we have to go a little bit south, too. But this one, you've probably seen this one a couple of times doing some collecting, as we did have a collectible up above us in a previous video. I believe it was a gold nuggie sitting on top of this old stump here. Now, I went the long way around said stump. As it turns out, they're all on the middle of the hill here. So we'll go ahead and get to chopping. And once we get that done, we'll go ahead and tag and target the next one. Now, is there a particular vehicle or something that I haven't checked out in this game that you would recommend? I have completed the story, gotten all of the races done. I do have a couple of tasks left that are not trophy or achievement related, and I do plan on doing a final stream. Once I get all the collectibles done, I will probably come back through, try to collect the bucks that are missing, although the bucks don't count for anything other than purchasing things from Unkies. but, you know, you got to get them all, got to get them all. We'll try to take down all of the, what do they call them? They're not international events, but the big things. Again, not related to a trophy or achievement, so not needed, but we'll definitely try to 100% this as best as possible. But, you know, we basically only have the collectibles left. Now, in all fairness, too, I should throw this out there. I am still stuck with my mileage counter. I have been stuck at 95% for the 3,000 mile trophy for multiple videos, days, weeks. In fact, real time, it's been about a month and a half now. So we got the third weed complete, and we're going to go ahead and tag the fourth one as I continue to tell you the sad story about how I might not get the platinum trophy in this game. Or if I do, it might require me to start a new game and just focus on the actual mileage. The good news is there is sort of a cheese for that, and I think I can make it happen pretty quickly on a new save. So goal is to go ahead and get everything else done and when it's just the final two trophies of the 3K and the 6K, I will likely start a new save and try to go there, assuming I haven't fixed it here. Now, we still have another method we could try while being around on this save, but it's not guaranteed that it'll work, and that's going into Unkies, testing a car, and doing the basically the super loop, as we call it. And I will likely do a video on that with or without it working, but we'll see. It's always better when I do something and show you how to do it, and it actually works on my end. I hate going, oh, if you do it right, the trophy should pop. I just hate those types of videos. I always like to show you that it can be done and that we did it. So we'll see how that goes. We are just about done with weed patch number 4, though, so we're moving along. We're almost about a fifth of the way done with this video. And like I said, you guys tell me, would this video have been better if I would have edited down the weed chopping stuff? So, like, basically, you come into the patch, I start mowing, and then immediately transition into finishing the patch. Like, I almost did that, but I don't know. I'm trying to be as complete as possible. All right, next up, weed number 5. We're going to go ahead and hit the highway here, go through the old tunnel. Meep, meep. Anybody ever do that when you were younger, or maybe still as an adult? Hey, Dad, honk the beep, beep the honk. Yeah, we used to do that a lot around here. We had a big tunnel that separated where we lived from the main town, Portland, Oregon, where I sort of grew up. So we often were going through that hill side, and I was always like trying to get my parents to honk the beep. But all right, we've officially arrived. We're actually sort of in the northeast corner now, and we've got this one by the old spilt milk. Yeah, that's right. You know what they say. Well, I guess that has nothing to do with chopping weeds, but no sense crying over spilt milk, so we'll just go ahead and mow these weeds instead, right? All right, that's a big saucer, too, if I'm being honest, but it actually meets the theme of the area, if you think about it. There's giant, like, kiddie condos where, like, you know, scratch pad things where they can climb up and hang out, and there's big balls of yarn, and so it sort of makes sense that there is a big bowl or saucer of spilt milk. Now, they would have been really crafty if that would have been like a flying saucer of spilt milk, because we've seen some like alien type stuff too with human, right? Remember human? They got some really punny stuff, and as a dad and a big you know, fan of dad jokes, I certainly have enjoyed the Lego treatment. And of course, I'm a big-time racer. I love racing. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. I have a car that I've built up and that I do take to the racetrack from time to time. Mostly just quarter-mile stuff, but at some point I do plan on doing some lappage. And even right now, we're even talking about maybe doing a big trip, going to Nürburgring and renting some cars to go do some laps around that over in Germany. So crazy, crazy stuff. We'll see if it happens. Go ahead and drop a comment and ask me years later, and I'll let you know if we did it or not. All right, weed patch number 6. We're actually going to turn around and get on the road right behind us, which turns into an off-road. And we're going to mob that all the way down across the old riverside there. And over by one of these giant kitty condos, as I've been calling them, we're going to go ahead and find another patch of weeds. This one actually goes inside, so be aware of that, as there's a ton of weeds on the outside, but it does lead you right in, so I don't think you'll be missing those by accident. Only intentional. And if you're missing them intentionally, you probably don't want this trophy achievement for getting all the weeds. Oh boy, there's some cheeky angles in here, and the old downward slope is actually kind of a pain too, as you drive, it sort of wants you to slide down, and it's not the best of the best, but we make it work. And as per usual, I'm sort of doing my outside lawn mowing first. And then I kind of wobble my way back through. And, you know, I should make mention, too, that a lot of this methodology I've learned here is, you know, due to real-life stuff. I worked on a maintenance crew for quite a few years at multiple golf courses and just as a landscaper doing homes. And, you know, I've also got quite a few hours on the old lawn mowing simulator. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to wrap up a couple of the final challenges to get platinum. It's just out of my reach of skill base, I guess. Maybe I need to go back to the landscaping job and get learned again. But a couple of tasks I could not complete, and I gave up. To be honest with you, I started getting motion sick from time to time playing that game. You know, all the circular motions and continuing the same patterns were not good for my motion sick. I guess now that I'm old, I tend to get sick all the time. But all right, number 6 is done did. We're going to go ahead and target number, well, both 7 and 8 are actually up here in this corner, if memory serves me right. Although we were just talking about me getting old, and old man Brian Brain doesn't quite process the same, so hopefully I remember right. But we're going to actually follow this road all the way around, zigging and a-zagging. Then we're going to drop down below in this corner here to kind of meet up with our marker. Now, just to make things easier and to get that marker out of my face, I went ahead and rolled right through it. But there you go, a quick look at the place. Now, we're going to mow all these down, and like I said, if I remember properly, there is definitely another one right close by. But, you know, we'll see when we get there. Definitely follow those quick links if you're looking for the next one, or maybe you missed one. And often, you guys would be surprised how many days go by where people are telling me I missed one, or they couldn't find it. They've watched the video 4 times, and there's not number 9. I can't find number 9. Where is it? I can find 10 and 8. And you know, often I go back and click the quick link button down in the video description, and it takes me right to where I need to be. And I'm always like, did you guys not know this was here? So, you know, even after years and years of multiple YouTubers and our videos having tons of quick link videos, video links, I should say, it's still kind of an unknown process to some. So, definitely recommend checking those out if you guys are finding that maybe you got like, man, I only got 19 of the weed patches. Which one am I missing? It just helps to go through those quick links because, you know, although some of these are pretty long, the links actually jump you from each location to each location, and you can just kind of move around on your map and go do it way quicker than watching me mow all these down, or perhaps trying to scroll through the video trying to find when I got to the end. Because I think that's what happens. I think people go, well, I need number 8, weed number 8, where's it at? I just finished 7. And then they sort of track through, scrolling through, versus using the quick links, and they go right on by it, not seeing it, and then all of a sudden they're at 9, right? And speaking of 8, I was right. It actually was just right around the corner. So, woo to the hoo-hoo. After a quick peek at the map there, we'll go ahead and start shopping. Now, you know, often when we're doing these longer videos, I tend to drift off from the said content, and I'm going to do that just again here. Lately, the wife and I started watching a new show. It's not a new show. It's been around for a handful of years. I do believe COVID slowed down the production of it, so although I think the first season was back in like 2018, and here we are recording this in 2023. I do believe that there are only 3 seasons of this show, and not everybody's going to have access to it, and certainly not everybody's going to like it. But it's sort of a very different style of, I mean, I don't know if I want to call it reality TV. It's not quite a documentary, but it's called How To with John Wilson. Maybe you guys have heard of this. It's like, in a way, it's super slow. But the way things are delivered and the visuals that he provides in the videos, like he'll just be talking about something random and he'll have some like random video footage of like something happening in New York and it totally is relevant. And you're like, whoa, that's really cool. Definitely recommend checking out the show How To with John Wilson. All right, we're officially done up in this northeast corner. And rather than drive all the way down, even though we need the miles, we're going to go ahead and use this garage fast travel point. And we recommend you do the same because the path to get to the next collectible will be exactly the same. So we got ahead and marked it, and I don't know if you remember earlier in this video, maybe you jumped with the quick links and didn't hear it, but I mentioned that there was like a 4-way intersection, and on each corner there was a different weed patch. But although that sounds simple, quick, and easy, and they are easier and smaller than the rest of the ones we've done so far, there are a couple of cheeky weed placements. So definitely come here and make sure that you're going all the way around the buildings in each corner, and just make sure that you take out each corner separately, because crossing over might get confusing. You might end up finding yourself like, you know, trying to track down a weed that isn't there, or you know, maybe just got in the wrong location altogether. So do each corner separately. We've got it marked on the map where we're moving right now, and as soon as we get this one done, we'll look right across the street and take on the next patch. So as you can see, I'm like, wait, I'm done. Oh wait, I'm not. Wait, I'm done. Oh yeah. All right, so 9 of 10 officially done dead. Now this would have been so much more beneficial completing before we finished all the races, because a lot of the races come through these patches, and you know, the patches actually build up your boost and your car's ability. So having that readily available is definitely going to be helpful, especially if you're struggling on some races. So we always recommend that you complete all of the story first before taking on these collectibles. If you go way back, we've got quite a few recommendations. Now that we're deep into the mix, we don't say that as much, but we always kind of assume that you've been following along with our playlist, which we know isn't always the case, but we hope that's the case. And in this one, we definitely could have done a little bit better, or had easier times with the racing. But in all fairness, we were pretty decent at the racing and didn't struggle much in that department. All right, so here we go. We've officially got our first cheeky placement, like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Where's the final weeds at? All right, well, where is it? Anybody know? Taking answers. As it turns out, it's on the other side of the hill. So we got to go around this front side of the lip here. And look at that, there's a whole little patch right there. So it almost feels like it's a complete different weed patch, but it turns out it is not. So here's the 4-way intersection. We're staring at it right now. Each one of these corners has a big weed patch. So definitely focus on taking all of them down. This one's so close, I can't even mark it, but it's gonna be right across the street. You could see it already. And this one's, you know, I don't think this is cheeky at all. I think we get this one in our first swoop or two. But, you know, Prospecto. Actually, I was going to use that as my thumbnail right there. It was like Prospecto, the weeds. I don't think I actually ended up using that, though. You'll have to tell me. I don't remember. Old man Brian Brain strikes again. No, I'm just kidding. I remember which. It wasn't that one, though. We should have. It was actually done really well. Set up nicely, if you will. All right, so this is number 11, so we're officially over the halfway point. And if you haven't hit mute yet, congratulations. I appreciate that. Fun fact for you, did you guys know that at least YouTube's older policies, as we ring on number 11 and look at number 12 right across the street, YouTube used to have a policy where if you were watching a video and you completely muted it for more than 30 seconds, the watch time would stop accruing for the viewer. So kind of a weird thing, because a lot of people probably watch with no sound or very low sound, but low sound works, no sound does not. So if you're ever trying to you know, help out your favorite YouTuber or whatever by watching some stuffs, definitely keep that volume on at least number 1. So it's, even though you can't hear it very well, or at all for that matter, it's actually accruing that watch time for people. Because that's, you know, if you're watching somebody's video, whether they're helping you, whether you're watching it for entertainment, or whatever the case is, you know, always consider the content creator, because a lot of effort goes into some of these videos. Some more than others, right? Like some of these collectible videos are really tough versus my live streams are pretty easy and laid back. So the different type of video definitely reveals different types of time frames and effort being spent. But ultimately, you know, do your content creator a favor and make sure that you're watching with at least 1 on the volume scale. All right, all 4 of those done did, and now we're gonna jump way down to the southeast. So we're gonna hop on this main road through town, and we follow it for a little bit, but I think then we take our own route. Yep, yeah. All right, so we're basically gonna just jump all the way over and get to this corner over here. I do believe there's a little farmhouse that we're gonna pay attention to. And look at that, right on the back side. Looks like old Farmer Joe needs some help with his weeds, though. So we're going to go ahead and swoop them on up. But first, we'll show you on the map where we landed, because it was quite a bit of a jump. Now, I don't know why this lower right corner, the southeast of the map of Prospecto Valley, was so barren with weeds, and why they decided to put a 4-piece side by side back there. But, you know, I'm not a developer, so I don't get to know those reasons. I just feel like as a collector and playing as many games as I have over the years and creating as many guide videos on said collectibles, you sort of develop patterns in how things are expected or where you'd like to see them. And you know, the weeds, not a bad. I'm not saying they did a bad job, but it's kind of weird how this southwest or southeast corner, my bad, is just so barren. All right, we got the one that's down here done. We're gonna slide a little over to the. I guess it's still southeast. It's more just south, right? Sort of right in the middle. And I make a boo-boo and I go right through a on-the-go task gate, and I immediately canceled it by pressing down on the D-pad. So if you were wondering why it showed all that stuff on screen, it's literally because I accidentally went through that gate and then I canceled it, and it was just telling me basically I was bad at the event. So, you know, a fun fact for you, once you activate those tasks, a lot of the collectibles scattered throughout. I don't think the weeds are factored into that, but let's say gold nuggies. If you're looking for a gold nugget and you go through a gate, it's actually going to take that away. You know, we had an issue where we were trying to get the rotor scopes or the rotor jetpacks, and in order to get up to one of the kitty condo tops where we had to launch from, we had to bypass a collectible down low. I wasn't ready to get that yet, so as a failsafe, I literally went through the gate. By going through the gate and quickly moving, it actually removed that, so I didn't accidentally get it. And then I could focus on getting that at a later time when I was ready. So I know that's just guide collecting info, probably a little bit more than you really cared to hear, but it's there. So it has its usefulness, as well as also being super confusing, possibly, if you didn't know that. All right, we've got another spot marked. I tried to be fancy and do some like crazy cool jumps, but big F for me, a big failure. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move around. Instead of going right up over the top, we're going to follow the road this time, so I don't look like a complete noob. Ah, psych! We're going to go ahead and take our own path again. And because there's no other collectibles scattered throughout, I have no worry of accidentally grabbing like a gold nugget or whatever the case may have been prior. So, officially in the South, the dirty South. Or what was it, I guess? No, it was the deep South, huh? Back in old Little Nicky. Anybody remember that movie? That's taking you back a bit. Showing my age a wee bit. Although, great movie, quite a few years old. Popeye's Chicken. All right, anyways, moving along, people, moving along. We'll go ahead and move along. Oh, you see what I did there? You see what I did? I hear you booing all the way from here. No worries, no worries. All right, we've got number 15, basically done did, and woo to the hoo-hoo-hoo. I was telling my wife about the bucks and how many of them I have, and how like each time you complete a task or a drift or a race or a collectible or whatever, you get paid, and I've basically spent no monies. So I have, I'm pretty rich with the old Lego brick bucks. I think I've got like 90,000 and some change or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I'll likely try to find something to spend them on when I do that final stream that I was talking about earlier, but... All right, we've zigged and zagged all the way up this main road here. We're going to take a detour and go up the top of this hill here. In fact, that's kind of a rough spot up there. Good thing we don't have to do any rock hopping. We're down below, and look at that. There you go, right on the mapsy. We'll go ahead and take out this weed patch, which is only going to leave us, what, 4 more after this? 17, 18, 19, and 20. That's funny how that works, huh? Quickly making our way through here. Now, another little fun fact for you as we're taking down these weeds. I'm going to go on a new kayaking adventure today. I don't know if you guys have ever been kayaking or not, but wife and I bought kayaks about a year ago. We've been going out quite a few times each summer, and today we're going to a new place that is a little bit scary. We have to paddle upstream. That's right, upstream of a river. About 1 mile. Now, the good news is it's supposed to be rather lazy river status, so I should be able to make good ground and get up that, but I'm not sure how it's going to go. So, if this is the last video I post, ever, you might have a pretty good idea of how that went. Hopefully that won't be the case. It's actually a place not too far from where we live here in Oregon. It's called the Willamette Narrows. So feel free to check that out. It's a pretty cool little spot, a bunch of little islands. And once you get past that 1 mile stint, it actually opens up and you got like these little tiny like islands you can jump around and go have lunch on and stuff. So wifey's downstairs right now packing bags, getting lunch all ready to go, and we're gonna take off and see how it works out. All right, we got another couple cheeky weed placements here, so make sure you just back and forth around this corner, as there's none really hidden, but it's very possible you might have missed one along the way. And keep mowing until that icon is showing. You like that? Keep mowing till the icon is showing. And that'll let you know that you officially completed it. All right, ripping down the way. This, I do believe, is right above Mud Lake here. I coined that a couple of collectibles ago. And there it is. Yeah, boy. There's the next spot. Weed patch number 17 is going to be right here above old Mud Lake, which is on the hill with all of the, you know, the prospecting miner carts and stuff. Like there's little train tracks you can see there. So lots of mining going on up top, I guess. I haven't seen a whole lot, but we see a miner go by every once in a while, I think. Although I haven't seen any now. I remember earlier, I swear they were. I don't know where they went. Must be on break or something. And again, it reminds me of that movie, Sisu. When I think of gold prospects, like, that movie Sisu is wild. All right, there he goes. Gold on its way. All right, so these are kind of hidden on the hillside here. Definitely some taller green shrubbery here. Some of those weeds are going to be tucked in there. So if you're struggling to get the final ones, just maybe step back a little bit, like sort of back away and look at it from a distance, and you should be able to detect those brown spots amongst the green. All right, number 18, there's a giant tire over here that represents sort of a small little tunnel, or I guess it's a bridge. It's actively a bridge up top, but we're going through the middle piece of it, or just short of it, actually. In fact, there is a nice weed patch here. Now, I always like to remind you guys, too, if you have not rang off the trophy achievement for destroying objects, those fence posts are a great place to accrue a bunch of progress. Basically, they respawn every 20 seconds or something like that. And because these fences are long, you can plow through, if you get the line right, many objects back to back. And then you basically do a 180 and turn around and come right back and plow right through that fence again. And you should get that trophy/achievement in no time. All right, we only got 2 spots left. This is actually happening quite fast on me as I'm flapping my yapper. But we'll go ahead and mark this bad boy, go through the old tire tunnel there. Nice precision jump up and around that corner and farmhouse. And it's going to take us right over to another hillside. That's right. So give you a quick peek on the old map-a-rooney there, and we'll get to chopping. That's right, chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli. I'm really showing my age with my references today. Often I've got like more recent stuff that most of you know what it is, but I mean, the comedian and show that last line was from is quite distant from where we are now. Not even sure either of those are actively acting, right? I don't know if the show... Anybody know what that was from? Chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli. I mean, we're actually chopping weeds, but if that's broccoli, that's definitely lacking some of the... the water and photosynthesis that you would think that plant would need to go through in order to grow properly. But hey, it could be summertime and maybe it's just a little bit of a drought. Who knows? All right, we are officially on our final weed patch, and luckily for us, it's not far from here. In fact, there is this little peak here right along the riverbank. Just so happens to have some greenery on it. That is going to be where the weedery is. We'll go ahead and do, we'll rock skip ourselves across the water here. And I felt that way anyways. And look at that. We have almost made a full circle around the map. Like I said originally, we go clockwise around. And look at that. We've been through the town. We're officially at the final one. So we'll shout out a woo to the who here in a second. Hopefully you do too. That was a funny angle. What am I doing there? I missed a whole... Ugh. This is a big patch, but good news, it's really easy to see it all and get it all, so shouldn't be any cheekery here, just a bunch of weeds getting mowed, nothing to see here. All right, so guys, this is going to be the final collectible for Prospecto Valley, assuming you've been following along. If not, we got other videos for you in our playlist, and we highly recommend you check them out. And we'll be moving on to Hansborough next. And like I said, we'll probably just go right down the legend list of items from top to bottom. So likely a couple of small, like 10 or 15 piece collectibles, likely clumped up in specific areas. Then we'll probably do the we might do the old bat, whatever the jetpacks are. You know, each area has its special jetpack. I'm having a Brian fart right now, or more commonly known as a brain fart, where I cannot remember the type name, but there's those flying bats. We got to get those, and we'll do those before some of the other collectibles likely. But booyaka shell, or woo to the hoo-hoo. We got that township treasure for completing Prospecto Valley. We got all the weeds. We are done did in this area. Celebrate, and we'll check the stats. Look at that. So, like I said, we'll go through the list. We'll check it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, click that like button down below. If you didn't, drop a comment on how it could be better. And that's going to do it for me, guys. Don't forget to check us out at HappyThumbsGaming.com and social media. As always, until next time, see ya.